Hi everyone, welcome to Red Fox Sewing and Crafting, and welcome to my craft room. I'm Joanna. Yesterday we made this page, and yesterday we made this page. Today we're going to do the last page, page 12 of our album. For page 12, you will need one piece that is 1 by 8.5, a piece that is 3.5 by 3.5, a piece that is 4.5 by 6, one piece that is 7 by 4.5, piece that is 4.5 by 6.5, one piece that is 6 by 8.5, and one piece that is 5.5 by 9.5. Let's grab our scoreboards out. On the 5.5 by 9.5, starting with the 9.5 at the top, we're going to score at 1/2 inch and at 9, and then we're going to turn it over to the 5.5 inch side, and we are going to score it at 2 3/4. On our 6 by 8.5, you want the 6 inches at the top. We're going to score at 1/2 inch. Our 6.5 by 4.5. No. Yes. On the 6.5 by 4.5, you want to start with the 6.5 at the top. We're going to score at 1/2 inch. Turn it around. Score at 1/2 inch. Turn it around, and then score it one more time at 1/2 inch. On our 4.5 by 7, you want the 7 inches at the top, and we're going to score it 1/2 inch. And then our last piece that we're going to score is our 1 by 8.5, and you want the 1 inch at the top, and we're going to score it 1/2 inch. For our 1 by 6 or 1 by 8.5, want to fold it in half and then miter the corners while it's folded in half, starting from the folded edge going out, so that when you open it up, it looks like this. For our 4.5 by 7, going to fold and burnish the flap, trim the corners off, add score tape if you like using score tape, and then we're going to grab our 4.5 by 6 inch piece, add glue to our tab that we just made, and we're going to attach this to our 4.5 by 6 inch piece, just like this. That can be set off to the side now. On our 4.5 by 6.5, we are going to fold and burnish 3 sides, miter the top 2 corners, and then trim out the bottom 2 squares. So that looks like this. That can be set off to the side. Our 6 by 8.5, just going to fold and burnish, and then miter our 2 corners. And then our 5.5 by 9.5, we're going to take one of, so you have 4 triangles on the 2 sides. You want to cut 2 of the rectangles out, including the score mark. And then when you get to the center score mark, you want to miter like this. And then we're just going to miter the other side. So again, we're going to cut out the rectangle plus the score mark, miter that out, and then miter the other side. And then your piece is going to look like this. And then we can just fold and burnish on our score marks. And I'm going to add some score tape to my 2 tabs. And we're going to add glue like so. And stick it to the other side, just like this. And now you have a pocket. To attach the pocket, I'm going to grab the 1 by 8.5, and I'm going to add score tape to this really quick. And on the center fold line, we're going to attach our hinge. And you want to attach the hinge so that the center fold lines up with the center fold. Like that. So now we have a little pocket flap. And now we can grab our base page. starting with our 6x8. We are going to attach this to the left side of our page. Just gonna flip it around and attach it like this. So that's this flap, and yes, this side is getting thick, but we have enough space in our album. Grab your flap pocket, and we are going to attach that to this side, to our hinge side. Just like so. And now before we add any of our other items, we need to add pattern paper. So for the base of our page, I am using this matte paper here. For the pocket, I'm going to start with the bottom tab. I'm going to flip this around to make it easier for myself. We're going to attach this 1.5 inches from the bottom and 5/8 on either side. Just like this. And then I'm going to grab some Scotch tape here and stick it right on top of my little tab there. And then we can put down our 2 side tabs. And now we have a pocket. I'm going to finish the inside up really quick. For the pocket, I have this postcard paper. It's going to go right on the top. And then this is the 4.5 by 6 attached to the 4.5 by 7, and that's just going to go right in the pocket like so. And then we can close this up and work on the outside. We need to attach this to our pocket flap. And that is going to be 1 1/4 inches from the side and 1/2 inch from the bottom. So right about here. So I'm going to take my fingers like this, where I want to put glue, and then can lift it up. It's gonna pop open, that's okay. And then I can just put glue where I want. And then close this back up. Line my ruler back to where it needs to be. And then I can stick this right back where I want it. Just like this. And this is the 3.5 by 3.5 piece. So I'm going to add magnets. I'm going to add 2 pairs of magnets. I can grab them really quick here. And I'm going to grab some square tape. My first 2 are going to go right about here on top of my flap, my 3.5 by 3.5. Just like this. Now I can add my other 2, and I'm just putting the score tape sticky side up above where my magnet goes, and that's where my magnet is. So then when I close this back up, my magnets will stick to the flap, like so. I can open them up and stick them down. For the flap, where the magnets are, I'm going to use this drawer paper here. And then finally, for the little magnetic closure on the front, I have this paper. I believe it's one of the plain, simple papers for the pattern paper. It's just going to go right on top, just like this. And then for the ephemera pieces, I have this, 2 of the large tags, and then on top of this tag I have a stamp, and then one of the small doilies, one of the small circle doilies, and then these 2 butterflies, and I'm just going to put it right in the center like that. And then for the words, I chose Good Times, and that's going to go at the top, like that. And that is our last page fully done. Let me show you how to add the last page into the album because it's slightly different than the others. So what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to bend this hinge towards the front, just like this. And then if you are using score tape, you want to put it on the tab on the back side. So just like this. And then we're going to grab our album here, open it up to the very back, and then you want to line this up just like this with the previous hinge, like so. And I'm going to fussy mine a little bit because it's not totally, my hinges aren't totally evenly spaced, so I'm just gonna fudge my spacing a little bit. Gonna play around with it, but that's how you put the last page on. And now our album is complete. I hope you liked making this album with me. If you did, click the like button down below, and if you want to see more of these videos, hit subscribe. I will see you tomorrow. Bye!